How you doing, guys? This topic is going to be about innovation, and I'm kind of talking mainly with Apple. Obviously, this can be applied to other companies, and it seems when it comes to the average consumer, and perhaps it's really a small margin of them. I think some people expect innovation every year. Of course, I'm talking about with the release of mobile devices mainly. It could be tablets, phones, or other related technology devices, and you can't expect expectations are really sometimes over the top. Now, when you think short term, no, you're not going to necessarily have innovation every year. Long term, you probably will. Now, of course, I'm going to give Apple is a great example because obviously when Steve Jobs was originally the CEO, he was fired from that job, and then he was with Pixar and formed Next Computer Systems, and he came back to Apple when that was bought out. I believe their next computer company. He came back to Apple in 1998. 4 years later, that's when the iPod came out. And of course, back then, people were saying the iPod was too expensive. Of course, that's when they came out with their ecosystem with the iTunes Store. They lowered the price of individual songs to 99 cents. Then it took 6 years later, then the iPhone came out. And then 4 years after that, the iPad came out. And even then, people were speculating it would just be a big iPhone. Of course, now that's totally changed. The tablet market pretty much ate into the PC sales. A lot of people don't need generally a computer anymore, even laptops. And it's finally even eating into the Mac computer sales, for instance, even their MacBook Airlines, the iMac, and so on. A little bit, anyway. And I also see is people saying, of course, this is doing with iOS. It's hasn't really changed much since it came out in, I believe, 2007, as far as the iPhone. And yes, it does definitely need some new changes, perhaps the interface and things like that. But I see mostly people saying it's boring, and to me, that's really not a good reason in of itself. People typically use iOS, whether it be for the iPhones or iPad tablets, because it works very well. It works without hardly any problems. Now, some of its services may be affected. I don't know, iMessage and some other things. And to me, people would rather concentrate on getting work done than necessarily being entertained by the operating system. That's not the job of the operating system, iOS. That's the primary task of the applications if you want to use it for playing music, watching movies, and so on. And of course, they're saying some other companies are more innovative so far. And of course, Samsung was one of the biggest people saying was more innovative than Apple. But really, if you look at the scene right now, they're pretty much the same thing right now. Even when the Samsung S4 came out, or excuse me, the Galaxy S4 phone, it was only really a spec upgrade, a slight upgrade. I mean, slightly more powerful phone, some new software features, some of which were kind of gimmicky that I think of. And same thing when the iPhone went from 4 to 4S. It was just a minor upgrade as well. Of course, when the iPhone 5 came out, there was more of a major advancement, more so than the from iPhone 4 to 4S. So, in fact, they're even considering the next iPhone to come out, which might be the iPhone 5S. I don't know what they're going to call it. And that's going to be seen more of it as a minor upgrade as well. And probably going to see more of a major one after the next one coming out. So I think innovation is really way overused and people are tend to expect it year after year. It doesn't work that way. We only really see major advances once every anywhere from, let's say, 4 to 7 years. And that's pretty much the cycle the way it is.